phone calls that are in the documentary from the coaches, I think that was a revelation for every player in America to see, like, no one can say to you that you don't have value. To answer your question, the one thing that they do need is resources to get by. I mean, most of these kids are from inner city backgrounds and may come from single parent homes or just underprivileged situations. So on the first way to answer your questions, I think they really do need the money to get by. And the second thing I would say is, as it pertains to like the low amounts that are being paid out, or essentially them not dictating what their proper worth is. I think that's more so just the worker mentality that sometimes African American people have for themselves and people around them. Like, because we don't see every day people working in business and navigating, a corporate arena and being successful, or because we, it's kind of still a little bit of a dream to like really make it in corporate America. I think, sometimes we as people kind of just happy to get a little bit, or just happy to get something that we don't look at, okay, we need to be owning the whole thing, or we need to be trying to get some equity, or we need to getting our full worth. Sometimes people are literally embarrassed to command or to demand, their full worth. And most of the times, the people in power, the people who are deciding compensation, are Caucasian, and usually it's all, they, on the other side, it's like you should feel bad, or you're greedy, or whatever the case may be. If you look at their compensation, it's pretty high. Like, it's not low. So it's like, at the end of the day, I think it's just like, again, the mentality, the information that we have, the education that we don't have as it pertains to business and what our true market value is. If you really think about it, we should own everything. Like, all the talented people, I'm not being racist when I say this either. Most of the talented people are African American, I would say, in TV, film, music, fashion, sports.
We are pop culture. I mean, there's no question. We're the only thing, like, America doesn't produce a lot anymore.
Our export is entertainment.
It's entertainment. It's sports. Yes.
Exactly. So if our export as America is entertainment, and the talent of entertainment is essentially all African Americans, it makes no sense for us not to own these studios, or not to own teams, or not to own these record companies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Everything is owned not by us, and we're the ones that's driving all the revenue for these asset businesses that are growing. So most of the times it's just more so we lack the information or the education as it pertains to the business side. Everybody wants us to give them their talent and sign that over, and for us to be happy to get a check. And it's like, no, I want the whole thing, or at least a bigger portion of the whole thing. I want to be a partner. I want an equitable arrangement, as opposed to a transactional mentality of, let's just give you this, whatever, and you be happy about it. So I think once we start to really establish that mindset, and you see it with athletes now like LeBron, and you've seen it on the music side since the 90s with people like Puffy and Jay and people like that. So the more these situations occur where people start to see, like, yo, we can not only just be the talent, we can also be the businessman that signs the checks. Once we are comfortable with that mentality, I think at that point, real change can be made, and we can really leverage our talent the right way.
Now, to your point, I've noticed that Jalen Green, the top prospect, college basketball prospect, also Isaiah Todd, they decided to go to the G League instead of going to college. Are the players at that level finally wisening up that they don't need the NCAA to make it to the NBA?
Yeah, I think after, listen, the phone calls that are in the documentary from the coaches, I think that was a revelation for every player in America to see, like, no one can say to you that you don't have value. No one can say that you shouldn't be compensated. Like Brian Bowen, was a great high school basketball player, but you're from Michigan. He is not a top 200 player for Michigan. So if he is able to get $100,000, then what could Chris Webber have gotten? What could Jalen Rose have gotten? What could
Although we kind of have some idea with Chris.
yeah.
From back in the day.
Well, I'm saying like if it was completely above if it was completely above board and you didn't have to get the money from the number man basically, and you could get it from Nike or whomever, it would have been much more. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, the players now are starting to realize like they hold real value, and I think technology is a part of this rapid mindset change. Like you can Google everything now, so there's no one who's these young kids don't think like the prior generation did. They not waiting. They not trying to sit back. They have access to information and they're using it, which is good to me. I think it's great to see, people taking power back into their own hands. So I think all the players are going to really start looking at all their options and not just think, okay, I have to go to Duke or Kentucky or whatever the case may be to make it.
Yeah, I am amazed that even with all the information, how much, and I will say, I think I see this a little bit more on the football side. They're on a different system because you have to stay 3 years,
Yeah, exactly.
before you can turn pro, because the college football and the NFL are very much in collusion with one another,
Mm-hmm.
to keep a handle on that market. But once the NCAA, or once I should say the NBA, and everybody expects this will happen very soon, is that they're going to lift that one and done. That one and done shit is out the window. Because
I thought they already lifted it. I thought that was already discussed between the
it has
NBA.
already been discussed. I mean, it's just, I don't
Okay.
know if it's technically started yet, but
I think it
between
starts in 2021 or 2022.
so between that, them pumping more money into the G League, unless you are a type of player that feels like you need to go to college to for education, I guess, and also just to work on your game, and maybe you are a 2 or 3 star recruit and you want the experience. Unless that's the case, it just doesn't make any sense for these players to actually subject themselves to going to college and completely not make what they're actually worth. Given that the NCAA has given in, and I do phrase it as given in because they really didn't have a choice when it comes to allowing players to market their likeness, their name. What do you expect? I mean, is this just inevitable that the NCAA is going to crumble and going to crash because of economic forces?
So I will say this: if the professional leagues are not in cahoots with NCAA, and obviously I don't know if they are or aren't. If they are not, then yes, NCAA is screwed, because if the G League really takes it serious and is like, we're going to be the stop as opposed to you going to college, and they are going to continue to pay people, and if you see, this is where the NCAA can completely go. It could go left. If Jalen Green or those kind of kids have great seasons and people are watching those games, and these streaming companies, which is where everything is going to move soon. If these streaming companies make a deal with the NBA to televise the G League, and these kids can get the same level of exposure, and there's money circulating through that league, which I'm pretty sure that can happen, then the NCAA is screwed at that point, because March Madness is really how they fund everything. The college football playoff is not giving all their money to the NCAA. March Madness still runs through, and that money, the media rights and everything, funnels back to the NCAA. If you don't have those blue chip NBA prospects coming to Kentucky and Duke and those in the Michigan States and the UCLAs every year, the AT&Ts and the Disneys ain't gonna keep giving NCAA billions of dollars in media deals. Like, it wouldn't make sense. They would just make it with the NBA for the G League. So it's like, if those things happen, it ain't gonna. Why again? The NCAA is really just a tournament promoter. Like, they don't have any other functionalities. They're not involved with academics, which is the reason why they didn't throw their hammer at North Carolina with their academic scandal. It's not connected. They're really just someone who is promoting an event and making they're licensing the rights to the events and monetizing it. So if the event ain't popping no more, it ain't no NCAA if you really think about it.
Yeah.
And again, most people don't understand all the dynamics that are at play and the maze that is really happening. So if the professional leagues are kind of like, screw it, we want to build great farm systems for our leagues, then they're obviously going to win, because everybody's ultimate goal is to be a professional. At the end of the day, you can always go back. You can take online classes, I'm pretty sure, and be an MBA. So ain't nobody going to go to school just to go to school. That's stupid. It's going to be where can they put themselves in the best position to succeed? That's just the bottom line.
Wouldn't it be smarter for the NCAA to cut the players in on a deal?
It would be, but again, greed is greed at the end of the day. And you'd be surprised. Well, I don't think you'd be surprised, but as we've seen over the years, the NCAA would do everything but that. Like, they'll, even with this thing that they did the other day, they're still trying to fight the sneaker companies from doing endorsement deals with the players, because we all know you ain't gonna give. It's stupid for Under Armour to give UCLA hundreds of millions of dollars, but they're doing that because UCLA is going to attract high-level athletes, and you might be able to get Lonzo Ball in your sneakers when he's at UCLA. So the shoe companies ain't going to keep giving those major deals in cash money, maybe in apparel, but not in cash money to those universities, because it don't make financial sense. So that's the issue with the current arrangement that they have going on now. You have that gray area as it pertains to Nike and Adidas and Under Armour cutting the check directly to the athlete. So again, they're always going to try to push back or keep as much of the rights as possible on their side. And until it's just completely blown open and there's no rules, I think that the players should continue to look at all options.
Just be smarter about the money you take. Hide it better.
Exactly.
Hide it better. That always works.